I'm a senior product designer with GitLab, and I want to go over a rough wireframe that I did to try and visualize the first attempt at a new role-based access control system. So the idea is, here's a job statement. I want to create custom roles for my organization. So currently what we would do, we would click on the menu at the top, and there would be an admin section within our self-managed environment. From here, this is what the dashboard looks like. There's a few options like users. We might need to change headings because we don't have a section labeled roles and permissions just yet, where we would manage that. So perhaps that's what we'll need to look at next. So this would be a totally new screen. The idea is that we have our current roles here in this screen as an example. And if you were to select one, perhaps the permissions would show which were populated or which permissions were available for that role. This screen needs a rethink because the idea of what happens in an organization with tens or hundreds of different types of roles, how do you group or organize that, keep that manageable? And there's some other things we're thinking about here. So the assumption being that we'll click on a new role, we'll give it a name, and we can select, for example, permissions. We'll say we've selected some different permissions. We give it a name. The idea here would be it would have the base role to copy permissions from. So the 5 roles that we currently have in GitLab, we could use as kind of like a template. So the idea is that you would select something here, would auto-populate the selections for you, or create kind of something like a template system so you could build from that, or revert if you made a mistake and you lost track of what needs permissions and what doesn't. This would also kind of help with troubleshooting. So for example, if you had to go and create a support issue, you could generate a new role based off of the official permissions and see if you experience the same problem or whatnot. So then you would get a success on the creation. I think there needs to be a storage container, some way to visualize the list of roles that you've created. I don't know if this is sufficient for that need. So then we'll want to assign that role that we've created. So let's go back to menu. We'll select a group. So this will be the landing screen of the group. This is the first item whenever you select group info, and then we'll go to the members. I think that those few steps just there previously could use some rethink, jumping from the creation to finding the group and then finding the section for members, and then now finding the members seems a little cumbersome. So here we would create, invite a member. We have these 2 roles, guest or maintainer, that we've created. And then the default GitLab roles. I think this also needs a rethink. Again, what happens if an organization has countless roles? How do we group that? How do we visualize that? Having a list of tens or hundreds of roles, that seems not normal or not usable. So there might be a better way to do that, but just a first iteration. And then, so we'll create it or invite that person, and then the user was added to the group. So that is functionally how this first iteration of these wireframes would work. I do think there's room for improvement. Please contribute your feedback in the issue that will be linked in the description. Thanks.